have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nandekano. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
All right, welcome back. Good evening to you, Barrister Clem Agui.
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, it's fine to be with you. I guess it's some bit of technical.
Now, let's get into the show. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has described the current situation in Rivers State as a clear case of abuse of office and power by the executive, legislative, and judicial arms. Has a literal declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State and described the decision as excessive. He questioned the wisdom of Tinubu's action, arguing that the true federal time we sat down and amended the constitution to ensure that it operates as a genuine federal entity. The government is over-centralized. The debate will continue on whether that state of emergency was in the first place a wise decision. But in terms of fundamental principles, I believe this goes against the federal spirit of association. I find that the Constitution has placed too much power in the hands of the president. The system we operate, and as usual, the presidency has reacted to both comments and described it as their personal opinion. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Temitope Ajayi, said while Soyinka and Jonathan were respected statesmen, their opinions were personal. Oh well, Clem, let's Soyinka as we just introduced. Before we get into their comments, is it customary for former presidents to make public comments on national issues, especially when they have access on?
Traditionally, it's very often not very convenient for former presidents to make public comments on the performance and actions of their successors. If you look at the American presidency, you find that many a time there too. But when the issue becomes constitutional and it's going to affect everybody or get everybody drowned, at the end of the day, it is going to be something that will affect everybody, including I myself here. That is kind of opinions that they have offered, including the Nobel laureate have offered his own personal perspective on the issue. But they have a right, like every other citizen, to comment on issues that affect the nation, especially when those issues are weighty. To that extent, I would say that the former president's comment is not out of order. And he says, if somebody is sleeping, you can wake him up. But when somebody is over the issues, and maybe it's private advice, we're not taking. In my place, we should say that if I take what I have said to you when these kind of issues arise. So to that extent, I think I have no grounds about whatever the former president said on this very issue of River State emergency.
Okay, all right, Clems. When you talk about that, I mean, you have been in office, you know what the office is about. You recall that Obasanjo has been up and about, you know, Obasanjo has written letters, he has made public comments on national issues, on very critical national issues. Between what Obasanjo does and keeping quiet, which direction do you think that we should travel, especially at this period that our democracy is fledgling, is still nascent? What track should we actually follow?
I disagree with you that our democracies are moving on and not to the retrogress as we are having it now.
Okay, I'm happy that you said as we are having it, which means it's still,
yes,
it's still nascent,
we are
it's
retrogressing.
Okay.
Even when you look at our electoral system is retrogressing. We have not seen any improvement from 1999. Call advantage of a latecomer in economics. When you're a latecomer in an event, you have to have learned from others so that the same challenges the United States went through in the mistakes Germany takes and begin to self-correct and do countries. We don't want to comment on the activities of the person currently in office because they too understand the challenges of the office because I've gone through it. And they also presumably have access to advise the person that is currently there. But when your advice is not taken, and the issue is fundamental, and the issue is weighty, and the issue is constitutional, and the issue is capable of causing deeper crises that may consume everybody, you have to speak out.
Okay.
I recall what happened in Ghana before J.J. Rawlings came in and had to execute everybody that have ruled Ghana that is alive because they refused to talk. Because he now categorized everybody as part of the advice. It is left for you to now take the advice or continue on your trajectory. I don't think it is important for us to say, why did he talk? Let us look at what he said. Forget about the messenger. What has he said? He also was in a position to declare state of emergency in several parts of Nigeria when he was president. But he chose on the terms of caution, knowing the implication of his action. Now, the president today has imposed a state of emergency in Rivers State and has legal power. Section 305, no doubt, gave the president the wide latitude of powers to declare state of emergency, especially when it said that when the president is envisaged, there may be likelihood of breakdown of law and order. That very section of the Constitution, section 305, those subsections were not we are vague. They're ambiguous. If you challenge that matter in court, what's happening in Rivers State?
Okay. So clearly claims the problem now is from the Constitution. If the part of the clause that you have quoted in the Constitution says that if the president feels that there is a likelihood, not actually that a total breakdown of law and order. Is that what you said? Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay, so it's a constitutional problem because in the case of Rivers State, a lot of people have actually said there was no total breakdown of law and order. So on what basis did the president call for state of emergency? Which means, like you have just said, the president is right because the Constitution clearly empowers him because he might have assessed the situation and says, look, there is a likelihood of a breakdown.
Action of the president might reasonably concede it to him because that very aspect of the Constitution gave you to breakdown of law and order. Should he wait until there's a breakdown of law and order before he take action?
Okay.
Disappointing. He has made a proclamation. The one that is a slam dunk, which no court, I believe no serious court, will concede to, is the action of the National Assembly, who now endorsed the process. Because the Constitution is very clear. A conclave of the Senate and the House of Representatives, for them to endorse by having 2/3 of the votes. The National Assembly failed to do that. They used a voice vote. The reason why the writers of the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution say 2/3 of the members is to know who voted and why you voted, because this is the constitution. I've looked at the entire 320 sections of the Nigerian administration is mentioned. There's no place it gave the president power to remove the governor of a state. There's no place it gave the president the power to suspend the democratically elected House of Assembly. There's no place in the constitution that he said that. But he gave him power to declare state of emergency. And that is what Wole Soyinka is talking about. What Wole Soyinka is saying is simply, the president of Nigeria is too powerful. Let us talk about it. Let us remove some of these powers, because in a true federalism, the states and the federal government are always in battle. Even in America today, you can see the battle between control states. And what do you do about it?
Okay.
That is where the court now have to intervene.
All right.
That is where you have the balance.
Okay. Okay.
In Nigerian case, we have had many years of military rule, and anybody that comes into that seat begin to act as if it's a military rule without looking at the constitution. And when you talk about the constitution, they tell you to go to court, knowing fully well that both the judiciary and the legislature committed the crime here.
Exactly. Exactly the point. If you say that
was not complied,
if you say
they want to vote and have a 2/3 recorded that
this point now, because you also say that, look, the one that will not pass any good court is the one that happened in the National Assembly. If you rely on what President Goodluck Jonathan said about executive, legislative, and judicial abuses, do you think that any court in Nigeria is going to upturn the National Assembly? Is there any likelihood it will happen?
Like I said, in Nigeria, nothing is impossible. But as a lawyer, I will tell you that no reasonable Supreme Court will concede to what the National Assembly did. No reasonable Supreme Court will do that, because they violated social and white. It is clear. You can only use your rule as a National Assembly when there is no outright written law. But the law said 2/3. The Rule 60 they are talking about does not override the Constitution of Nigeria. The framers of the Constitution understood that the Senate will have a rule, but it's clearly stated to challenge it. Any citizen of Rivers State, because the Constitution said that no part of Nigeria will be governed except by democratic means and in accordance with the Nigerian Constitution. They are affected, so they can go to court and challenge it, and I think the court will grant them that.
Okay. Okay.
I was talking with somebody.
Okay,
who told me that Obada is no longer governor, that he's now suspended. Being suspended does not mean that you're no longer the governor. I agree with him completely.
Okay. Now, let's look at Wole Soyinka himself. What do you make of Soyinka's reaction? Being that he's been a staunch supporter of President Tinubu, does it look like he's been altruistic in his recent comments, or do you think that their relationship has cracked a bit? What's your thought about it?
I'm a friend of President Tinubu.
Okay.
I support his administration, but I disagree with his motives if there's anything to blame me on. That doesn't mean that there's a crack in the relationship. But we're talking about our country. We're talking about our constitution. Because he might not be the president tomorrow. He's another person. So whatever I say today, the internet does not forget. Whatever he does, we have them. We have a duty to advise the government that we support. It doesn't mean that when you have a different opinion from the government, that there's now an attack on that government. That is the Nigerian wrong way.
No, Clems, I asked this question in the light of the fact that we see some supporters of the president people who support him with their leg and arm, with their blood. So they never see anything wrong in whatever he does.
That is their problem, being analytical and being able to tell you the truth as a friend. That here you are.
No, that is my point. How if people are supporting the president, even when it is obvious, even when it is very clear that he's done something wrong, how does that help us build a culture, a political culture? Is it something we should allow? Sees that done wrong, and he comes out to say, "Look, the president is right." Is it something that we should admit in our politics? That's what I'm asking.
This is democracy.
Okay.
Lucifer, when he fought with God in heaven, have supporters that were fought along with him. Instead of God killing them, he sent them to the earth here. So you have people that support the president, whatever he does, he supports it. Of course, there are many yes men, and they may be doing that for different reasons. And I'm proud of Soyinka. He's supported president. Quite right.
Okay, so basically, you don't think that there's any problem with the relationship. Anyway, now the presidency has reacted to the comments of the eminent persons and described them as. We are seeing a presidency that didn't sound quite toxic, like a usual Temitope Ajayi. Will lash out. Anyway, is it a result of involved? Is that what you think, or do you think that they are beginning to opinion? You situate it.
Both factors come into play. One, they're looking at the fact that, of course, this is the former president that has had that power. And, of course, this is not bold already. Do I want to go into
but they've not been very kind to Obasanjo. Obasanjo is former president, too. They've not been very kind to him.
I think they have been. I think they have not been also very arrogant to him. Yes, I'm saying. Because they have been very arrogant to some Nigerians in their responses.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be so. Because, one, the arrogance of power can be very intoxicating. And that is what destroys the culture you're talking about, the recent culture of democracy. We should be able to have a conversation among ourselves. We should be able to talk to each other in a very polite, civil manner. Okay. Not actually talking as if we have personal grudges. No, that is not it. Even when you listen to Professor Wole's comment, he wasn't aggressive. He was simply challenging an action that he felt that is fundamentally flawed. If you listen to President Jonathan, he's giving a warning. He is just simply directing your mind to the fact that, yes, you may have this power. Yes, you may be able to do this. But you do not have that absolute power to act so recklessly with the power that you have.
Okay, I asked this question because we have seen people ask very hard. And they have been told that, look, you are crossing the line and you are going to face the consequences of your actions. Well, let's look at the issue itself. A bit ago, and NAS members quickly ratified the emergency rule, but their parties have condemned the president's action. Like the PDP has said, look, no, President, what you have done is very wrong. But the members of the PDP in the House, in the Senate, ratified the emergency rule. So what does political parties should have in their representatives? Is it that people are just political parties are special purpose? Is that what it looks like? Because I can't see NAS, president, and the party, assembly. I say, no, the president, you can't do this. Does it look like what?
Something I'll be able to interpret.
Okay.
But like I said, of course, everybody can hide under and come out on the TV and say, no, I don't agree. Assuming that you gave that audience for everybody to converse, let me tell you, During the third term imbroglio that Nigeria was to face during the Obasanjo time, what saved Nigeria for that third time and what killed the third time was the fact that the Senate leadership then said, we are going to have this televised, and each of you will take a stand and speak, and we're going to have a recorded vote. Even though they collected money, absconded, stood up now and became against. If this River State something happens also like that we're going to have a recorded vote, either electronically or manually, let us know where everybody stands on this issue as the Constitution specified. I will tell you that state of emergency will not have passed, because every one of them knew that, look, you cannot just suspend elected members, democratically elected members of the state, both the governor and the House of Assembly.
Sorry, Clem. I'm surprised they are saying that if it was a head count of votes, that it wouldn't have passed, because when the president put it to a voice vote, the yes clearly had it against the nays. We had. My point, if it was a head count, some people.
I would have wanted to head count your head that you supported it. Your constituents will hold you responsible. Because let me tell you one thing people fail to understand. Emergency rule is not only applicable on political scenarios. Emergency rule can be applied even on public health issues. The president can declare state of emergency as a result of outbreak of epidemic or pandemic. Does that mean that when he does that, the democratic institutions will be dismantled? No. If he declared the emergency under public health rules, the political structures are there.
But he might, if the public health issue is as a result of a problem with the Minister of Health or any of those persons, don't you think that he will let the minister stay? Because the problem in Rivers clearly arose because of the problem between the governor and the legislature.
The problem in Rivers State, everybody saw it. Nobody's happy about it. I wasn't happy about it. I was wishing that at the end of the day, even at the end of this emergency rule, there will be a political solution to the Rivers State problem. And I'm not also removing the fact that the president is a partisan interest in this matter, because he's a member of a political party. And if it is going to be to the advantage of his own political party, you won't rule out the fact that he might be influenced to do what he did for the benefit of himself. Okay,
but Clems, do you believe, some people say that by the declaration of the emergency rule, that the president simply saved Fubara's head? Because if he didn't do that, the House was going to impeach him.
Of course, the House was going to, if he didn't do that, the House was going to impeach him. And then the question is, the House that is impeaching him, are they legally constituted House?
But the Supreme Court, that was what the Supreme Court said.
No, the Supreme Court erred there. You understand? Because the same Supreme Court said, if you cross your party and enter into another party based on factual line, that your seat remain vacant. It's there in the law. So this is that what I'm saying, that you see, the last time we had this discussion, I told you something. If this current dispensation of democracy fails, if this rule falls, hold the judiciary responsible, because they have been making different.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what you think about the video I just played, go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section, and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move airborne.